power, compatibility, and craftsmanship. Let's talk power, which starts with the specs. 6 teraflop GPU clocked at 1.172 gigahertz.
Jump up in the air, jump up, don't be scared. Jump up and your cares will soar away.
Yeah! Nintendo! Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, and welcome to part 3 of my reaction to all the news that's been breaking at E3. We already covered the Microsoft conference, we already covered the Sony press conference. Now it's time to go on to Nintendo. And if you can't tell from the uncanny number of Pokemon surrounding me right now, I am something of a Nintendo fanboy. I ain't even gonna lie. I love a lot of the games on the PlayStation. I love a lot of the games on the Xbox. But man, Nintendo is just always going to hold a special place in my heart. Not even just because like I grew up with them, but just they seem to be focusing the most on, hey man, let's just make light, fun games. And at the end of a long, hard day, that's just what I want. I just want some light, fun games, and they specialize in that. And over the past couple of years, they have not been that impressive at E3, at least not with the games that they were showing off. But now, they've got a brand new console, and a console that people are loving, a console that is actually really impressing a lot of naysayers out there. This is their time to come in here and really show us what they got. Not to mention, Xbox, you know, the Microsoft conference, hey man, it showed off some good stuff, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot right at the beginning of it. And the Sony one, they showed off some great games, but they were the exact same games that we saw last year. This is Nintendo's chance to finally win E3. It's been forever since Nintendo has actually won E3. Can they do it this year? You guys probably already know the answer to this since E3 ended like 2 days ago, but I am making this right after they came in here. So, these are my immediate reactions to everything that I just saw, and I gotta say, kind of one, sort of, I guess. Man, this has been kind of a lackluster E3, hasn't it? Let's just go ahead and address that giant elephant in the room right now. However, that is not to say that there was not some cool stuff that Nintendo showed off, so let's go ahead and get into that. Now, the first thing that I gotta say is that Nintendo is trying to be a little bit more adult, they're trying to be a little bit more serious, and I'm okay with that because I was getting really exhausted of every single year Nintendo going, hey man, here's a whole bunch of kids playing these games. These games are great for kids. And it's like, that's awesome, but kids also enjoy the games that adults enjoy, but it's not necessarily always the other way around. Could you show me something that I would enjoy? And when I say something I would enjoy, I don't mean I need a dude with a chainsaw hand ripping into giant monsters and tearing their faces off. No man, just show me adults playing these games. So now you have actually seen this happening where in all their commercials you see adults playing Mario Kart, which is awesome because adults enjoy Mario Kart, and it's kind of nice for the company to remember, hey man, these games are indeed for everyone, and that doesn't just mean for kids. However, it feels like watching this conference this year, it feels like they came in here and was like, alright, it's time for us to put the childish playthings aside. It's time for us to actually feel more like an official E3 conference and treat this with the respect that it deserves. And I'm a little bit bummed because I know that a lot of people out there did not like it. I know a lot of people out there did not enjoy this, but I don't care. I'm going to come out and say it. I love the robot chicken thing from 3 years ago and the puppet thing from 2 years ago. Dude, I think it's awesome that Nintendo in the past couple conferences came in here and was like, yeah, we're not going to get up there on stage and play this thing where all these different things can go wrong, and we're not going to stand up there like we're giving a TED Talk about all the important different things that we are doing with this game and trying to make it sound all professional. We're here to have fun, and we're here to put on a show, so let's put on a fun show. I love those conferences from the past, and this year, you know, they did some stuff by having Reggie teleport around. That was nice. And you know, there was a moment in which there was the Legend of Zelda guy holding up the Master Sword. Oh, how did this get in my hands? Like, oh, okay, that's pretty cute in there. All right, that's kind of cute. All right. I miss skits. What can I say? I miss when they did skits at these shows. They were fun. I enjoyed it. I look forward to that stuff. I want them to go back to that next year. But at the same time, yeah, as I said, I enjoy Nintendo because Nintendo realizes games should be fun. Games don't always have to be big, giant, immersive events that you need to make bigger and bolder and darker and more serious. Hey man, sometimes games are just for fun. And I love that Reggie just came out here and basically at the start of this conference just said, games are supposed to be fun. I was like, man, Nintendo, as long as every single year you can just come in here and remind me of that, that's all I ask. It's just nice to hear somebody out there come in here and say it. But alright, let's get into the actual games, and kind of like with the Sony press conference, pretty much everything here is stuff that we already had seen. It's stuff that we already knew was coming. We just basically got new trailers for them. And the first one that we got was Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I love JRPGs. The bigger and crazier the JRPG, the more I'm gonna enjoy it. However, I gotta be totally honest with you, I know that the Xenoblade series has a bunch of diehard fans. I've never really been able to get into it, but I've always wanted to. So when I heard that this was coming to the Switch, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be my opportunity. This is gonna be my time to get into Xenoblade Chronicles. I watched this trailer and I was like, man, this really just looks like the most cookie cutter JRPG I've ever seen. Like, if you just describe to someone what a JRPG is, this is probably what they'd come up with. Like, if someone didn't understand what a JRPG is, you could just show them this trailer. It's like, oh, okay, I understand it now. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. This doesn't look terrible. It just looked really standard for a JRPG. There was nothing really in this that made me look at it and go, oh, this is what makes it stand out. This is what's going to make it unique. This is going to be what makes it memorable to me. This is going to be what I hold on to until this game comes out. I'm going to be looking forward to that thing in here until it's released so I can go and buy it on the first day because I can't wait to see that thing. It didn't have that thing. It was just like, alright, got big sword, lady there, she's kind of casting some spells. Oh, you're going up against the evil dudes, big empire. Is there a crystal in here somewhere? I bet there's a crystal in here at some point. But from there, it went into something that actually was new. They announced a brand new Kirby game for the Switch, which again, Kirby is perfect to be on the Switch. The Switch is one of those games where it's like, man, every single game that needs to be on there needs to be something that you can just pick up and play whenever you feel like doing it. Kirby is a perfect example of that type of game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a brand new Kirby game on there, and it looked great. I love the graphics in here. Again, I don't need graphics to be just super 4K realistic. I just want them to be unique. I want them to have a style to it. This looked like a Kirby game, and it looked like a really clean and crisp Kirby game. So it's looking exactly the way that it should. And what you can do in this game is that you have 3 little hearts, and you can throw those hearts out at enemies, and if it hits the enemy, they then come and join your side. They fight alongside you. You're winning the day with the power of friendship. That's kind of an awesome mechanic for a Kirby game. And the thing that makes it even cooler is that, yeah, just like when you're Kirby and you absorb a monster, you get their powers. When they're your allies, they keep their powers, but then they can also merge their powers with your powers to create some big combo attack. That's a really cool idea. I don't really have anything else to add to this other than the fact that, hey man, it looks like a Kirby game, but they are throwing in here some new stuff that makes it seem like a memorable Kirby game. Like I was kind of complaining with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that just really looked like, yeah, basic standard JRPG. This looks like a Kirby game with some sprinkles added on top. It's like, alright, cool. I like Kirby. Sprinkles. Make it even better. Next up, we heard from Game Freak, who are the developers behind the Pokemon franchise. And I'm going to go ahead and say one of my problems with the Nintendo press conference this year is that it was short. It was really darn short. I think it was only like half an hour long. They needed to get like an extra 15 minutes in there just to, you know, show off some more stuff. I'm sure they had some other things that they could reveal, but it seemed like they were just speeding by this, and because of that, there wasn't really enough for them to really talk about. And the Pokemon part of this segment is, I think, the perfect example of this, because they announced one thing, and that's really cool. However, literally just a couple days ago, before this, there was a Pokemon press conference. It was only 8 minutes long, but they came out there and announced, hey man, Pokken is coming to the Switch, and it's gonna have all these new characters on there, and also you're gonna get Ultra Sun and Moon. Oh my goodness, that's some big brand new thing. That's a big reveal. And also the classic Gold and Silver are going to come onto your system the same way that Red and Blue did. Holy cow, 3 big announcements. We're out, 8 minutes, in and out, we're done. Why the hell did you do that just a couple days before E3? Hold on to that for E3 and announce that stuff here, because the biggest complaint that I've been hearing people say about the Nintendo press conference is just that, okay, they announced some stuff and it was good, but they didn't announce enough. That's been everybody's complaint about everything from E3 this year. And it's like, man, Nintendo, you got 3 things that you just decided to not announce at E3. You just had to wait a week. But, okay, beside the point. Going into the actual thing from Game Freak, they did come in here and say that they are now making a new core Pokemon game for the Switch. And here's the thing, we have had Pokemon games on the home consoles of Nintendo systems for many years now. And they've never really been that impressive. However, the thing that makes people excited about this, the thing that is getting people amped up, is that word core. They're not saying it's a spin-off, they're not saying it's some weird alternate reality thing, you're not going on some distant new journey that isn't connected to anything. Core Pokemon game. That is super vague, but it can mean so many things. Because, alright, core game typically means red and blue, gold and silver, diamond and pearl, ruby and sapphire. I know I swapped the orders there, I apologize. It basically means that entire line, each of the generations. Does that mean that Gen 8 is now coming to the Switch? Because it's like, okay, I'll be honest with you, it's a little early to go ahead and announce stuff like that. I know you really want to get the Switch selling, but the Switch kind of already is selling, man. It's doing just fine. But I know that you want to come in here and reassure people, no, new stuff is coming. But a new Pokemon game typically comes out every 5 years. Not even that, like every 4 years. It's only been 1 year since Sun and Moon. Feels kind of early to be coming in here and making that announcement. Actually, it's only been 6 months now that I think about Jesus. So it is kind of odd for them to say that, which makes me think, okay, maybe it's not Gen 8. It seems too early to announce that, but what else could core game mean? Maybe new Pokemon Snap, because I guess that could be considered core because it is a legacy game. We did get a previous Pokemon Snap game that people have been hacking for a new one of forever. And that would work great on the Switch. You could actually move it around like a camera. So that could be good. Or maybe it's going to be like a new version of Diamond and Pearl, because once every 5 years they do also come in here and do a remake of a previous generation. So it's like, alright, maybe that's the new thing that we're getting. Maybe we're going to be getting the remake of Diamond and Pearl on this. That could actually be like a good test run for like a Gen 8 on the Switch. If they can come in here and make the remake on there and see how that does, if it does well, then hey, Gen 8 right over there, awesome. Or it could also be that it's been a few generations since they did this, but there was always that third game in the generation that came out. You know, we got red and blue, but then we also got yellow. We got silver and gold, then we also got crystal, and so on and so on and so on. We haven't gotten that in a little while now. They have been coming in here and making new versions of the old ones, like we got Red and Blue 2, and now we're getting the Ultra Sun and Moon. But what if it is like Stars? Everybody has been guessing that the third game of this generation would be called Pokemon Stars. What if that's what they're gonna do? And just basically, hey man, it's exactly the same as Sun and Moon, except it's on the Switch, and it looks even better. So enjoy. Yeah man, I don't know what this could possibly mean, but I'm excited. I just really wish that they had given us even just a smidge more. And that's going to be the theme of this entire Nintendo press conference. It's amazing, but I just needed that much more. Just a tiny little smidge. Want to know what I mean by that when I say it's going to be the theme of this press conference? Let's go into the next thing that they put up there, which is the new Fire Emblem Warriors games. Now, I really enjoyed when the Dynasty Warrior guys came in here and made a version of Legend of Zelda. I thought that was just great, nothing but constant fan service for an entire game. I had a blast with that, and I have really been getting into the Fire Emblem games over the past couple generations of that franchise. So if you're going to come in here and do the same with the Fire Emblem games, I'm incredibly excited for that. However, we got the trailer for this, and the trailer goes, here's the characters that are going to be in this game. And I look at all the characters that they announced, and I was like, yeah, those are like literally the exact characters I would have guessed would have been in this game. Like there were no surprises in there, and I don't think it's going to be all of them. I think those are going to be like the main ones, and then they go on to some new ones, some more obscure ones. They start branching out because there were a ton of characters in that Zelda Warriors game. So no way is that all the characters we're getting in this Fire Emblem game. They're definitely going to be making some more ones. I can't wait to see who ends up in the roster. But it's like, these were the non-surprise ones. You're not going to give me any surprise? The only real surprise in there is that it's the female corn rather than the male corn, and kudos to you guys for doing that, because you've been picking pretty much nothing but male characters so far from this roster, so alright, give me something there. But yeah, really just no surprise there, and it's a story trailer, which okay, story trailer, that's fine, but maybe then come in after that and go, hey, I hope you enjoyed that story trailer, here's some actual gameplay, and then show us what the actual gameplay looks like. Again, story trailer, nice, but I could kind of guess everything in that story. The gameplay, and what the gameplay actually looks like, that's the big question. That's the stuff I don't know. Would have been nice if you would kind of given me just that smidge more of it, just that tiny little bit more. And to me, perhaps the greatest example of this is amazing, but I just needed that tiny bit more to really get excited about, is that they announced that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be coming out. First off, oh my god, Nintendo, you finally get it. For the longest time, Samus has been your Mega Man. This character who has a massive, die-hard fan base, a fan base that wants them to return, a fan base that will gladly throw money at you to get them to return. I mean, for God's sakes, Capcom, have you learned nothing from Mighty No. 9? Even if the game sucked, just the idea of a Mega Man ripoff character was enough to make people unload their wallets at this thing, and yet you still won't give us a new Mega Man game? That's aside the point, but it's kind of what Nintendo was doing with this. People have been going out there making fan Metroid games, fan remakes of Metroid games, people have been excited about that, and Nintendo, rather than taking a cue from this, has been coming in here and trying to shut all those down, because apparently they just didn't want any Metroid stuff out there at all. They were burning the old guidebooks for Metroid because they wanted to make it seem like it never existed. Yeah, Nintendo, why did you try so hard to keep us from getting a new Metroid game? It's finally coming. They finally listened. Oh my god, I didn't think this day was coming, but Metroid Prime 4, it is coming to the Switch. And that's all we know. Again, awesome that it exists. Awesome that they said this is happening. However, all we got was the logo, and man, Nintendo, I just praised you in your previous years for having some great showmanship. You really knew how to take what little you had and make it seem huge and big and important. Just a couple of seconds of something would have been enough to make me stand up and go, yeah! Rather than just like, oh, that's interesting that that's happening. Like, again, I understand, at this point you probably do not have gameplay footage. You probably don't have a design for what Samus's new costume is going to look like, because you're going to, of course, update it some for this new generation. You definitely don't have voice actors picked out for it. But there's ways to work around that, man. You, at this point, have to have some kind of an idea of what you're going to put in there, so maybe put, I don't know, just a shot of a planet, and then all of a sudden, like, the words pop up. Or have, like, somebody on a completely black screen, just have some voice actor come in and go, well, it's been a long time, or something vague like that, and then you just have the visor light up. You don't even have to show the rest of the helmet, because as I said, the helmet probably isn't done being designed at this point, but the visor's gonna be the same. You know that's gonna be the same. Just the visor lights up there in the darkness, then a big bright light flashes and just says Metroid Prime 4. And, you know, like I said, just have some random person say some vague line about Samus returning. You don't have to actually have that person be in there. They just provide a vague line of dialogue in this trailer. Nobody's going to go into the actual game asking who that vague line of dialogue belonged to. It was just something to get us to go, oh my goodness, it's a thing, rather than just words. Again, I know it's small, but showmanship. Showmanship. If you don't have anything to show, you can figure out a way to show us nothing and still get us excited for it. I mean, hell, just put in there Ridley's scream from a previous game, like off in the background in the darkness, and then the words pop up. Just anything. Although speaking of Metroid, as I said, kudos to Nintendo for waking the fudge up and realizing people want Metroid games again, because we are getting a quote-unquote reimagining of Metroid 2, which basically means that they're going to remake Metroid 2, but it's not just going to be a like complete like shot-for-shot remake. They're basically just going to come in here and take what worked in that and then adapt it for this new console, for the new generation of games. My neighbors are destroying things above me, so forgive me for all these sounds. But yeah, we're getting that. That's cool. Again, I have nothing really to add on to this other than the fact that, oh my god, Nintendo is like you're actually listening to your fans now. Next up, we found out that we are getting a new Yoshi game in 2018. It looks adorable. I have nothing else to really add on to this. Listen, it's going to be just like all the other Yoshi games, and the Yoshi games, they're so cute that even I can't really deal with them. But my wife is a massive fan of them, and she was pleased with this, so I can actually come in here and say I have spoken to a Yoshi fan, and they give their seal of approval to this thing. I will say though, I do like when he picks up the giant dinosaur skull and starts just ramming through stuff. Like, alright, that's kind of cool looking. I'll give you that, Yoshi. Still think I'm actually going to play it, but as I said, Yoshi fans are excited. Next up, it was announced that the first DLC for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be coming out on June 30th, which means I really need to get back to that game and finish it. That game is incredible, it's amazing, it does so many new things with Zelda while holding on to what makes that game work. It's so imaginative and huge, I love the design of everything. That is a game where almost everything about it worked. However, it came out right before Persona 5 came out. And if you guys know me, Persona 5 trumps literally everything else out there. So, yeah, I know there are people out there who've been wanting me to talk about that game, but yeah, man, other stuff came out and I kind of just wanted to move on to those, but I swear I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to get back to that game, I'm going to finish it, and I have a deadline now. I have to finish it by June 30th, although it doesn't seem like any of this is going to be story-related stuff. The second DLC pack is going to be story-related stuff, but this first DLC is going to be more of a trial thing. One of the things that I found really cool about the game is that you would go out there with almost nothing when you start the game, and then you would find better weapons and better armor as you went along. And basically, this is going to be the condensed version of that. It's going to take that and go, alright, we're dropping you into this big battle arena basically, and all you're going to have is your underwear and a stick. And then you have to go and use that stick to beat an enemy with a better weapon. Then you take their better weapon and you find an enemy with a better weapon than that and beat them to get that weapon. And you have to basically just, in a way, kind of level yourself up solely through combat. Solely through finding bigger, badder enemies and beating them to level up. And honestly, I think that's a really darn cool idea for an arena. For like a little challenge stage. I think that's an awesome new little thing that they're doing with the unique setup of this world. So I know I'm being kind of repetitive here, but man, I'm just really impressed. Nintendo has done everything they can to really just leave me speechless about this most recent Legend of Zelda game. So yeah, it looks like they're going to continue to do that. And this is DLC that I can actually understand being DLC. I know that there was a controversy about the DLC when it was first announced, but this stuff here is like, you know what? I'm fine with that not being part of the actual game. That does actually look like a cool thing that I would be willing to pay for as an addition to the main game. Alright, there's really only two more things left to cover, and this next one, if it was announced on any other console, I would have been like, it's nice, whatever, it's not really worth stopping the whole conference for, it's not really worth mentioning during E3. But there's something about the fact that this is going to be on the Switch that actually makes it really special. They announced that Rocket League was going to be coming to the Switch, and Rocket League is not a new game in any way, shape, or form. It's been around for years now at this point on the PC and on all the other consoles out there. And it's been really popular. A lot of Let's Players online have been playing it. It's one of those games that's just super fun and quick and addictive, but it's not really stressful. It's not really some big thing that you need to get invested in. It's, in a weird way, it's kind of the car version of Overwatch. It's something that you can just pick up, play a few matches, and then you're done. And the reason why I say it is so special that it's coming to the Switch is because the Switch is designed for games that you can just pick up and play whenever you want. Like, the entire concept of that console is that, hey man, I can take it anywhere with me. If I'm just bored, I'm on the train for a couple of minutes, got some free time to kill, I'm waiting in line, hey, I can just reach in my bag, pull that out, just play a quick 5-minute long game. That's it. Rocket League is the perfect game to put on a console like that. Nintendo, that's what I'm talking about. This was a smart purchase on your part, going over to the Rocket League guys and going, come on, put it on our console. But that's not the only smart thing. There's going to have little exclusive stuff just to the Switch version. We already saw that they would have like the little Mario and Luigi hats on the cards, like, alright, that's cute. They also said there would be some exclusive cars just to the Switch version that they are not going to announce just yet. it's gotta be Mario Karts, right? It has to be actual Mario Karts from the Mario Kart games that you can use in this. That's like the biggest no-duh I've heard of. If it's just actual other normal cars, that is such a wasted opportunity. You so missed out on that. Using actual Mario Kart games in the Rocket League game makes absolute total sense. But here's what I love about this. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that's what it's going to be because, like I said, no duh. If you don't do that, you totally missed out on this. So I'm just going to assume that's what it's going to be. But they're going to do something in which you're going to be able to compete in Rocket League on all consoles together. So if you have it on the Switch, you can compete against people on the PC, on the PlayStation, on the Xbox. Everybody will be able to compete together. And it's like, okay, that's fun for Rocket League. How does that help the Switch? As I said, there's going to be exclusive stuff just to the Switch version. Again, not confirmed, but it's gotta be the Mario Kart. Even if it's not the Mario Kart, it's going to have the little hats on there. So if you're playing on the Xbox, if you're playing on the PC, if you're playing on the PlayStation, and you then see somebody that you're playing with, and they have the little Mario hat on there, or they're in the Mario Kart, and you look at that, and you go, oh, that looks pretty darn fun. Oh, I guess they're playing on the Switch, and they seem to be enjoying it. Basically, every single time that you're on a different console, and you see someone playing with one of the exclusive things for the Switch version, it's free advertisement for the Switch. This is really smart promotion. They found a way to promote the Switch version of this game in all other versions of this game. That's actually just brilliant to me. So yeah, Nintendo, this is the perfect game to put on the Switch. And I hope that you keep searching out other fun, quirky games that you can just pick up and dabble with for a couple of minutes and then go about your day and look at those and try and get them on Switch as well. Like Kerbal Space Program would be an awesome game to put on the Switch. Like you just pick it up for a couple minutes, like, all right, let me dabble with a new ship here. Oh, let's see how far it goes. Oh, it didn't get where I thought we go. Oh, I'll try it again later. I gotta go right now. Or, you know, I jokingly compared Rocket League to Overwatch, but damn man, try and get Overwatch on that system because even if you need internet connection in order to play Overwatch, just go over to your friend's house, 6 of you sitting around in a circle with your Switches in your hands, all linking up to the same internet. Bam! Perfect team communicating right there in person. But then it goes into the final trailer and starts out with this dinosaur going up onto a cliff overlooking this big jungle. And my first thought was, okay, we got that Monster Hunter announcement during the Sony press conference, and when I saw that, my initial thought was, Nintendo, how did you let one of your biggest franchises slip through your fingers and go onto another console? You need to come back in here and reclaim it. And so when I saw that giant dinosaur, I was like, oh, you know what? New Monster Hunter game. All right, I knew that there was a new Monster Hunter game already coming to the Switch, so it's not like Nintendo totally let it slip away. But they did need to remind people, hey man, we got this too. We got our own special Monster Hunter game over here. But I kept looking at that dinosaur and I was like, yeah, but that doesn't look as imaginative as a Monster Hunter dinosaur. And then it zoomed in on it, and you see the little hat up there. I was like, oh, it's the new Mario game. Okay, you guys got me. I guess you did have to advertise it once during this conference. But, you know, I'm excited for the new Mario game. At least I should say I was excited for the new Mario game. But I didn't feel like I needed to see anything else. I was like, yeah, man, you know, you already sold me on this thing. If you're going to end your conference on something, ending it on something new would be better. Ending it on something that would be memorable would be better rather than just showing us a trailer for something we've already seen. That was kind of the problem with the Sony press conference, is that, yeah, they showed us some good trailers, but it was for stuff that we already knew was coming out. This is the exception to that rule, because even though we already knew about this game, even though we were already excited, it's like, oh, you have a talking hat, and you can throw your hat and you can jump on it in the middle of the air, and you go into the real world called New Donk City. Oh, doesn't that sound fun? Throws the hat, lands on the frog. Gaming will never be the same ever again. Seriously, if you just described what was in this trailer to me, I would look at it and like, oh, okay, that sounds like a cute thing. That sounds fun. But there's something about actually seeing this. Actually seeing that hat go on things and they get the little mustache in there, and the fact that you can do it to everything, and everything you do it to game's different abilities. Like you can do it to a Goomba, and when it gets on the Goomba, you can then jump on other Goombas to make a giant tower of Goombas. Or you can do it to the Koopas, and you get their little hammers you can throw. You can do it to real, actual people. You can do it to just a statue that its only ability is it can flip its sunglasses up and down over and over and over again. And you can do it to a dinosaur. Why would you need to do it to a dinosaur? Mario already has a pet dinosaur. He doesn't need to become a dinosaur, but screw it, he does. Oh my god, it looks so damn fun. Holy nuts. And I'm so glad they went out on this trailer because A, it gets me more hyped for Mario Odyssey than I ever could have possibly been. But it also just shows everything that makes me keep coming back to Nintendo. That makes me go, you know what? No matter what problems Nintendo might have, and I will fully criticize them for those problems, there's nobody else out there quite like them. They know how to do fun right. They know how to come in here and make fun games. As I said, when Reggie started this whole thing off, he said gaming should be fun. And it's like, alright, it's nice to be reminded of that every now and again. This trailer was nothing but reminding people of that. It is amazing to me that this is easily in like everybody's top 3 trailers of E3. Like, the only reason why it's not some people's number 1 is because, as I said, we already knew this game existed. But there's something about just making a gameplay trailer that makes the gameplay look this fun. As I said, the whole point of these trailers is to sell people on these games. And when you just come in here with trailers that's nothing but story, it's like, alright, that can interest us, that can make us want to play. But nobody is ever really sold on a trailer until you see the gameplay. This is some of the most fun looking gameplay I saw in any trailer at this year's E3. And I liked Nintendo's press conference. I think Nintendo's press conference was good, but even though I had problems with the Xbox one, and I had problems with the Sony one, I was looking at the Nintendo ones like, yeah, you know, you could have come in here and you could have beat them both, but you weren't able to do it this year. You had some good stuff, but you weren't able to do it. And then it ends on this trailer, and it's like, dude, you are now neck and neck with all your competitors at the moment. Granted, as I said earlier in this video, this year's E3 hasn't been that great. But in a weird way, the fact that it hasn't been that great makes it a little bit greater for me because there's no one clear like, oh, this person won. I can actually look at every single one of these press conferences and be like, God, there was something memorable from every single one of them. And it's just something great about the fact that Nintendo, the memorable thing about their trailer is fun. It's that it was a fun trailer for their main guy. A guy who, listen, every now and again I get tired of seeing that dude. Nintendo finds a way to come back around and go, yeah, are you tired of him now? No, I'm not tired of him now. Come back in here, Mario. We want to play your game. God, it just looks fun. And it looks like the people at Nintendo have no lack of imagination. It doesn't look like the people at Nintendo are just sitting around and goes like, alright, well, if we just set it in, like, the Dark Mushroom Kingdom, it's exactly the same from a previous Mushroom Kingdom, but screw it, it's now there's a moon up there. That's it. I'm so tired of making Mario games. You can tell by watching this trailer, the people over at Nintendo are still freaking hyped to be making Mario games. And that says a lot about Nintendo. So yeah, I'm going to do 2 more videos, one in which I come in here and just talk about all the other little conferences that went on, and then a final look back, kind of just my big analysis of E3 this year. I was going to come in here and give you my top 10 most anticipated games from E3. As I said, it's been kind of a letdown E3, so I don't honestly know if I could come up with 10 that I would be super hyped to talk about. Screw it, we might still end up doing that. We might still end up doing it because it would be fun, and Nintendo has taught me to do stuff just because it's fun. So screw it. Who knows how many more E3 videos we're going to do. None of this is professional. This is my 3rd video, and you still haven't learned that by now? Come on, guys. Get with the times. I don't know what I'm doing up here. Why am I yelling at you? Thank you for watching this video. It is so hot outside right now. I am dehydrated. I'm hallucinating. I don't think this camera is on. But screw it. We're going to keep going because it's E3, the most wonderful time of the year for video games. But thank you guys very much for tuning in for another episode of ThorgE3, my reaction videos to everything announced at E3. If you want to see the other ones, they'll be up at the end of this video, and you can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr at Professor ThorgE3. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Come back next time. Bye.